What is happening, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Made by Miles podcast. I'm your host, Kieran Ingram, and today I'm joined by a good friend and a very, very special guest, Jay Jacobs, who is one of the co-owners inside of Soul Sweets. But Jay fits into this criteria for the Made by Miles podcast so well. One, because he's a sucker for an ultra and loves running mental miles as well. But he's also got a pretty cool story where he has built his life up from a pretty hard place, to be completely honest, and he started to shape his life out the way he wants it, and he lives life on his terms, and he's a very unique person. He's a pretty cool guy, and I really wanted to get him on here to kind of discuss that more. And even when we were driving down here today, I was actually saying to him, going, like, as much as we've known each other for about 3 years now, 2.5, 3 years, there's a lot of Jay's story that I don't know, and I'm actually really excited to hear this, because even from speaking to other people that know Jay have said how much of an inspiration his story is. So I'm very, very excited to get into this, mate. But I think first of all, mate, is just obviously give an introduction. Who is Jay Jacobs? Probably the worst question to ask, because you're but give us a wee bit of an intro to yourself, mate.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for having me on, bro.
My pleasure, mate.
It's always a privilege if someone wants to kind of hear about your story and all that. So I thank you for that, and you're good at that introduction, by the way.
We got it, mate, innit?
You're good at it, mate. One take, by the way. He was no bother. So my name's Jay Jacobs. Part owner of Soul Sweets. There's 4 of us, and I'm 27. I would think of myself as like just your kind of average guy. I think I'm classed as a businessman, I suppose, running a business, but I think I'm just an average guy, just trying to get by. And obviously the podcast is Made by Miles. I think I wouldn't call myself a mad ultra runner, but I'd say like I'm an average ultra runner. It kind of interests me. And I would say that's my introduction.
Love it, mate. I love it, man. There's a few things that I want to kind of like dive into. It's like I find that interesting, because I feel what you were saying there, and a bit like, I guess I'm a business owner and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's like I think you need to go through that shift, or that paradigm shift, where you see it from a different light. And like I think I went through that recently as well, where like it's just a coach. Yeah. But I'm like, no, I'm a person that sells fitness for a fitness brand. And you start to go through that, and we were obviously talking about the brand of Soul Sweets. I know I was going to ask you about running first, but I think it'd be cool to dive into this more than anything, actually. But you know, when we were talking about the brand of Soul Sweets driving in, obviously there's different franchises pulling off and all that kind of stuff, which is really, really cool to see, because like Soul Sweets started off in East Kilbride, and it was like come in for a cold water therapy, get a bit of sauna. Now it's grown into a community, as I would say, and people like, I'm going for a sweets and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. How's it been to see that happen in front of you? Did you envision this, or has it just happened?
Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of mad to think like where it is now. Like we talk about it quite regularly, where it's like if we had said to ourselves a couple of years ago that this is where the place is going to be now, like we would have bit whoever's hand off it was saying that. So it's a bit mad, but at the same time, and maybe you'll agree with this, it's like it's kind of hard as well. Time moves so fast. Do you know what I mean? So it feels like only a couple of years ago that we were the one dynamic room, and to where we are now, it just feels like it's happened like that. So you don't really get a chance to kind of take a step back. Only briefly, every now and again, you kind of go, wow, like this is kind of where we became. But I don't even think that we had this vision for us. It's like you need to be kind of fluid, especially when you're running your own business, is to like open to you kind of know you want to be successful, maybe build it to a place where you can get some free time for yourself and all that. And but I don't know if we envisioned exactly the way it is now, especially with kind of franchises popping off and stuff like that. I don't think we ever thought about that. But so it's like what we tried first was opening up our own second facility, because that's what we thought to be the right thing at that time. Turns out it wasn't, because we opened the place, it was open for maybe a year. We kind of had to shut it down. I think if it had a bit more time, it would have worked, but we just didn't have that time, so we shut it down. And then that's when we kind of done the renovations at East Kilbride, made the public room as well, like utilised the space in there, which in hindsight is like, we should have done that first before trying to go into a second. Honestly, I think we thought we were something that we weren't at the time, do you know what I mean? But we were just pure buzzing with like, even to have the opportunity to be able to do that is like mental for us. But anyway, we came back, we utilised the space, which in hindsight, we probably should have done that at first. And then it's like, it's just all happened. Do you know what I mean? Naturally.
Yeah. And I think as well, man, it's true what you kind of said there, like hindsight's a wonderful thing. But see, like in my opinion, like successful businesses, like they're not scared to do things, but also they're not scared to just, like, that's not working, pull it. Because like, how long could you have sat with, obviously it was Hillington, that was open, and like there was nothing wrong with Hillington at all. It was just more probably like a location thing than anything. And just maybe just not the right time, not the right place kind of thing. And like, but it wasn't like bad or anything kind of stuff. But in my opinion, the sign of a good business is something that will pull levers, but also rip apart levers and just see what happens. And then it kind of, yous maybe went for Hillington, didn't quite rock it, cool. Just didn't pure like, just sit with it. You went, right, what can we do? Sure. And then, in my opinion, like what you have done recently with like even the memberships and stuff like that, and having the traditional sauna, I think that's been the real game changer for you and stuff. And it's just been really, really cool to see. And it is just, it's cool to see how much it has grown. And it's true what you said there about like, what I always talk about is like the gap between your ambition and the present. And like a lot of people, where they're currently at, they were a chote for 3 years ago. That was their ambition. But they get so hooked up on that next thing that they actually don't step back and appreciate it. And I feel like in business, you go through that quite a lot. Would you agree with that?
100%. There's always something to do, and it's like, even where we're at the now, and I say like 2 years ago, we would have bit your hand off at the opportunity that we've got the now, but it's like the ambitions change. So it's like whatever our ambitions are now, and we get there, it's like there's a new ambition. There's always something else to do. It's like it's never ending, and it's like I think that also ties in with and you'll agree, it's like your goals. Like you're going for a sub 60 high rocks. So it's like you'll achieve that sub 60, and then it's like, right now, what, a sub 58? Do you know what I mean? So you'll appreciate that for however long you appreciate it for, and then it's like boom, you're on for the next thing, and it's like it's the exact same.
You get back in the wagon in it.
For sure. Like your business, your training, like it's all the same, as in like if you're driven enough, you'll get what you're wanting to get. But then it's like it doesn't stop there. Do you know what I mean? And if it did stop there, life would be pretty boring, wouldn't it?
You never complete it.
Aye,
like,
for sure.
Even like when you go back to, I always relate things to like fitness and stuff like that. And like if you work with someone who's just brand new to fitness, I used to do that quite a lot. And you still do it with online, obviously, but we don't do it as much just because our niche is more like performance focus. But like when I done a lot of one-to-ones, man, like people go, that's 12 weeks, man, I'll be done. And you're like, no, mate, you're not. Like you never finish. It's like you never complete it. And it's like, I think like business, don't get me wrong, I think you'll get to a point, maybe I would hope when you're like 50 and that you go, right, okay, we have got to that's up, we've completed that, I can sell the business and hopefully retire early, obviously, man. But I do think that even like saying that out loud, is anyone like yourself going to retire early? Probably not. Do you know what I mean? You'll do something else, man. But I do find that you do get caught in that rat race of what's next. And I think it can be not dangerous because you need it, but I think you also need to kind of like have that moment to like step back. And I think like sometimes like even like days like this, I can imagine, see, after we've had this conversation, you'll probably have a wee moment later on and go, look how far Soul Sweets has came, just because it's been probed. Do you know what I mean? It was the same when I got asked onto a podcast a couple of months ago, and we were just talking about my journey as a whole. And like, I'll talk a lot about my journey to inspire a lot of my clients. Like, it's just what you do. And there's a lot of times that I just say it and I don't even think about it. And then you'll be in situations like this, you go, fucking hell, like, look what we've done. I think it is pretty cool. And I think that obviously, like, will bring us on to like the next question. We'll take a deep dive back into like where Soul Sweets is going and all that kind of stuff, because it is an evolving animal, which is just insane. And it has been really, really cool to see because I know all these that run it. It's just, it's cool to see like just mates doing things that they think's quite cool and something that really benefited them. And actually turn into something that's actually having an impact on people. Like, it's so cool, man. But mate, that'll kind of bring us on to one of my next questions as well. Like, obviously, cold and hot therapy's had a lot to play in your past and really, really helped you out, mate. But even if you don't mind me asking, mate, like, what did life used to be like before Soul Sweets, before training, when it was maybe a bit hairy, mate, and just not looking too good?
Sounds so. It's like there's a bit of like for me, it's like there's a bit, you need to kind of go way back to kind of to understand, I suppose. I mean, like, I think when you introduced me, you said like something about maybe a hard past and all that, and it's like it depends how you perceive like hard past to be, because like I come from a family like there's always been money, like in that sense. I've never had to want for anything or anything like that. Like the environment I grew up in was like it doesn't fit the kind of the bill for
I get what you mean
what I'd
that,
actually
mate.
been through. But it's quite, for me, it's like it makes me understand. It's like it doesn't really matter where you came from, or there's a good saying and it says it doesn't matter what car you were driving when you crashed.
Yeah, mate, I
Do
like
you know
that.
what I mean? It's
really
like you still crashed if you're in a Ferrari or if you're in the Qashqai outside. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It's just you're in the same crash, so it doesn't really matter what background you have or to feel like maybe you've got a problem, like maybe I shouldn't have a problem because fucking I've got this and I've got it. It doesn't matter, do you know what I mean? See if you're feeling a certain way internally, and see if you go into every like human being in the planet, we're all the same internally. Do you know what I mean? We all tick the same. So, but it starts for me like, I don't know if it's like a unique story, but I suppose it is because I don't know many people kind of that have been through it. But very young age, 13, diagnosed with cancer, hadn't drank, smoked, anything like that, do you know what I mean? I was a perfect student at school, like doing good at sports, and as everyone does when they're wee guys, do you know what I mean? Football, running, all that kind of stuff. Diagnosed with cancer, and then kind of, so if I go into the other side of the cancer, obviously I came through it. In that period, I kind of died, came back to life, like just, it was a mad experience to go through it at 13 years old, and ended up coming back to school, and I just totally had a personality change, like couldn't give a fuck. Can you swear on this podcast?
You can do what you want, mate. You can do what you want, mate. Honestly,
it's
me, mate. You're sound.
I'd meant to ask
Imagine I
you,
was like, nah, you fucked it.
I'd meant to ask you that before the podcast,
You're all right,
actually,
mate, you're all right, bro.
but aye, so it's like I couldn't give a fuck really about school. It was causing like problems in class and all that kind of stuff. Started leading the charge of like, I'll be the first to smoke grass, or I'll be the first to take an eckie, and all that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, like, see, it's Glasgow, do you know what I mean? It's people do that. People do that, and I loved it. Do you know what I mean? See, when you're first doing all that stuff, they come up off
some
an
of the
eckie.
best nights of your life, mate. Like,
for sure.
nobody can say otherwise, man. Do you know what I mean?
For sure, like totally loved it. And I think just somewhere along the path, I just kind of lost, like just totally lost myself, like what I used to be pre-cancer, really. Because see, when I was growing up, like I was the happiest, most confident, like not a care in the world, do you know what I mean? I just had that essence about me, like nothing, no anxieties, none of that. And then just somewhere along the path, just totally lost all of that and the drugs and all that, just because I loved it that much. But also learned, like, I've got a thing, like I class myself as an addict. Do you know what I mean? I went through, I'm jumping forward now, but it's like I went through a 12-step recovery program because I ended up in a real bad spot where it's like, and I learned later on that, see, when I start, something in me has got no control in how much I'm taking. I don't know when to stop. Like I had pals, we'd go out, we'd get on it, and they'd all use the same as me, like, but they're no drug addicts. Like the problem was, see, when the drugs were done, the night was over, they're all going up the road. I couldn't do that. Like I couldn't do that. I was out for 3, 4, 5 days, finding out the guys that want to do that and all. So when I was done with my pals, I could shoot out. I was never in the house. My mum was always worried about me. And then fast forward a bit, is like, didn't do well at school, got asked to leave school. They kind of knew what I'd been through with the cancer and all that, and so they kind of sympathised a wee bit, and it's like, you're either going to we can expel you, but I know what you've been through, so we're going to ask you to leave on good terms, so you don't need to do that. So kind of bounced from college to job, like just no plan or structure, anything like that. Found myself in hospitality, which I done well at. I did do well at for a few years, but hospitality is kind of well known for, do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So as soon as that kind of sparked off, it just sparked something in me. Like, see that when I start using something, I can't stop, and it just got me into such a deep hole. Best part of 2 years, just over, like a quarter a day at least. Just going to my work, sniffing my pan in, coming home, bottles of vodka, whatever it was, just to turn over. Going home every night. Can I do this again tomorrow? Like, I cannot. I don't want to be doing it. I cannot do it. Like, and see, when I woke up in the morning, maybe 2-3 hours of sleep because I'd nicked a bottle of vodka or whatever it was. I would wake up in the morning and it's like, do you know that way when you first wake up, you don't really know where you are, and you're just coming to. It's like, that's the only bit of fucking peace that I was getting in my life at that point. And see, when I came to, I would recognise who I was, where I was at, what I was doing, the debt I was in, the family I'm not speaking to. and it's like I only had one answer for that. It's like try to escape. Try to escape. So it was like on a hamster wheel, mate, for 2 years. And then came like this penultimate day where so I'm like now 2 years removed from all my pals, living in my mum's house, but it's like the only way I can explain it is I'm living in the room in my mum's house. Like I'm coming in up to my room, doing whatever I'm doing, and then so like I worked at a hotel, it was just down the road for me. So for 2 years it was like that was the size of my world, was my room to that hotel, because I would just be in my room or at work, in a bad way, and nobody knew. And I had this thing that it's like, can I speak to anyone? I couldn't possibly tell anyone this is what I'm doing, for judgment or for whatever it was. Do you know what I mean? And I spoke to my pals in years, and so came this penultimate day where I was like, I only had one option. That's how it was presented to me, which was to take my own life. It was like that was the only option I had, which is like looking back, it obviously wasn't.
But you're in a hole. Do you know what I mean?
I was
When
in
you're
a
in that
hole,
hole, like
for sure.
that is the only way, because you start to paint this picture, which when you're in that spot, you feel that you're a burden on everyone. You feel like, what am I doing here? What's the point? And you're in this spot of pain, and you kind of get to a point. That's only from my experience, where you go, right, that's going to stop the pain.
Yep.
But in reality, it's going to cause a chain reaction of so much more pain.
For sure.
But you don't see it as like that.
No.
And it's nothing bad. It's what you've seen as the option. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And it was like, so I made that decision to do that. And it was that day, was like, I wouldn't say the best day I've had in all those years, but it was like the weight of the world was off my shoulders, because it was like, I'm getting out. I'm getting out. Do you know what I mean? I'm not thinking of like my family, how they're going to feel about it. Like I'm not remotely, I'm just so consumed about myself. Which I think was a lot of the problem, was like I was only consumed with myself, and so I'm not thinking about anyone else, but it's like the weight of the world was off my shoulders, and I went to work that day, knew what I was going to do, and it's like, it's true, like I've worked, like, so just through what I do, being sober and stuff like that, I work with other people trying to get clean and stuff like that over the years, and I've seen many people die over the years and all this kind of stuff, just being with so closely, working with it. And it's like, see, if somebody's going to do it, they're not going to tell anyone. And it's like, I didn't tell anyone. So it's like, looking back, I was definitely going to do it. I had the plan of how I was going to do it and all that stuff. And so I've gone through my work, and I still had, at the end of my shift, I was the last person always in the hotel cashing up and all that. So I'd always stay behind, fucking drinking pints, all that kind of stuff. But I couldn't go home and take my own life because I still had 2 gram of prop in my pocket. So it's like I was totally like a slave to it. Like I couldn't not take that before I went and killed myself. Do you know what I mean? It was like absolutely crazy. But I remember I was in the toilet in the hotel. I wasn't even crushing it up. My nose was bleeding. Sniffing it. It was falling out my nose. I was crying. Like absolutely horrible. And then one of my pals, who I'd not spoke to in years, still my best pal today, Rory.
Yeah.
He'd end up texting me. This is like 2 or 3 in the morning. He's texting me like, what's happening? Something like that. Like, what's happening? And then we ended up on the phone, and he was just like, how are you? Like, just, I've not spoke to him in like
Just
2
like a
years.
freak kind of moment.
Not spoke to him in 2 years, and on this day, at this time, at this moment, is like, that's when this is presented. It was
Did
like,
he ever say why he had the urge to phone you? Have you ever spoke about it?
no,
'Cause that's
no,
very,
actually,
very
to the
interesting,
extent.
man.
It's a bit
Very
weird that we've
interesting, man.
no spoke about it like that.
It's a bond button, it. Like, it's just a bond that probably can't be broken.
For
And
sure. It's like I always say to him, like, I believe in like greater powers and all this kind of stuff. So I believe like something was in him that moved him at that time to, I believe in all that stuff. He doesn't believe in all that stuff, I don't think. So I just like, I always just say to him, like, I owe you my life. Do you know what I mean? So anytime he needs me, like Glasgow, Edinburgh, do you know what I mean? I'm there doing a shift for him. I just feel like that for him. So he's phoned me and he said, how are you? Whatever it was, man. And I just told him, like, here's what's happening. Here's been my life and here's what I'm going to do. It's like, I can't do it anymore. I'm finishing it. He basically says to me on the phone, don't care how you get through tonight. if you need to booze, sniff, like whatever you're doing, do it. Get through the night. I'll come and see you in the morning. And that's what I done. And a few months later, I found out that he was in Southampton. And what happened was he hung up the phone, got in his car, drove to East Kilbride, pure goosebumps every time I speak about it. Drove to East Kilbride through the night, came and got me in the morning. And he got to me and like see the state I was in, Kieran. I was like so skinny, I was chalk white, I just looked ill. And he got a bit of a fright and all. He was like, so he got to me, but then he was just about like, what the fuck do we do now? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he didn't even know what to do. So it's like, just for some reason he was like, I'll take you to the pharmacist. Don't even know why.
Clutching at straws, but it's just like, we'll do
I
something.
don't even know why.
Something's better than nothing, but you need to
What
do something.
happened is he take me to the pharmacy. The pharmacy took me in that wee consultation room thing. The pharmacist was a bit like, I don't even know what to do either. And it's mad because my mum's a pharmacist, my brother's a pharmacist. My mum trained, my mum trains pharmacists up at uni. So she trained this pharmacist up
Honestly.
at uni.
Right, okay.
And he's like, and quite rightly so, he was like, I don't know what to do here. But he came back with this poster that pointed me in the way of a 12-step fellowship. And it was a meeting. And the meeting was the next day. So like the Thursday night, it's the 14th of November, 2019. I was going to kill myself. Rory got me on the Friday. Spent the day with me the Friday. And the meeting on that poster was on the Saturday morning. So it was like meant to be. Like almost meant to be. And I went to that 12-step fellowship. I didn't get like clean right away, fully. Take me a couple of months. Got clean in the January 2020. Done what was kind of suggested by this 12-step fellowship, and like never looked back.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. Thank you very much for sharing that as well, man, because I know that's a lot. And even as I was saying at the start, like, I didn't know you had cancer, mate.
No.
I genuinely did not know you had cancer.
Yeah.
And see, what I found very, very interesting that what you said at the start as well was how you lost yourself somewhere along that journey where you were this like calm, cool and collected, like laid back kind of guy, and then you were never anxious, but then you went into that phase. See how you described you pre-cancer?
Yeah.
That's how I would describe you now. And I don't know how you would feel about me saying that, and I can only vouch for myself, but I could probably imagine quite a lot of people listening to this will go, yeah, that's Jay. And do you see yourself like back to that?
I feel like, see, when I'm talking about the child state, it's like now that we're older, there's a lot more of analysing that goes on.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're in the childlike state, you're not analysing like
Don't care.
Exactly.
Don't care.
You just are.
Yeah.
You just are, and it's like that's how I'd wish to be. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes I don't know. I feel like, especially in the more recent years, I've found it a bit more hard to take compliments on like that. Do you know what I mean?
Just I'll hold on to a bit of, not regret as such, but it's even just like from my individual story, I felt like I owed a lot to people from what I'd done.
Yeah.
Do you kind of feel that too sometimes, or do you think it's just more like going, right, I've got a second chance here, so let's fucking make the most of it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like, especially with my family, is where it hits home the most. Do you know what I mean? So
100%.
that's where I'm like, me, my sister, my brother, and even my mum, we've all got a much more special kind of bonding now. But sometimes because we're all human, right? So we're not perfect, and I'm certainly not perfect, and sometimes I can fall short in that area. I think that's where it hits me the most. But people, like, we've got a few customers as well. Like, there's one specifically, I'll not mention her name, but it's like she just loves Soul Sweets. She loves me. We're messaging all the time and all that, and it just seems that sometimes people have this picture painted of you that you just don't see yourself as. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, mate, I can relate to it. I get it. Because you know your past more than anyone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's always demons in there. There's always stuff that you regret. And like everyone listening to this as well, they'll not be triggered in a bad way. They'll be sitting thinking about the stuff that's went on in their life, the stuff that they've done and that kind of stuff. And there'll be a lot of people that relate to your story as such, mate. And like, I do think that people will paint a picture of who you are, but you've always got your story, which is individual to you. But there'll be a part of people's picture of you that they'll know there'll be a past, and that's why they've got you as an inspiration. It's like, I've always looked at you as someone who is cool, calm and collected, but I've known there's been a past. I didn't know what the full past was and stuff, but I've always been like, I know it's going to be an inspiration just from hearing through other people and stuff, mate. So yeah, I think like there's a reason why people do look at you, Jay, as like this guy that's quite strong-minded, quite very, very strong willpowered and all that kind of stuff, because it's like the life that you've created, mate. Do you know what I mean? And you should be very, very proud of that, mate. And even what you touched on at the start, where I don't know if it's a unique story and all that kind of stuff, mate, your story's fucking unique. Do you know what I mean? Even did a shout out to Rory and all, even just for that at the end,
Love you,
man.
bro.
Amazing,
Love you,
mate.
bro.
I mean, did you pay him back the petrol?
The petrol.
For coming up for
Fuck.
Southampton?
Oh, I need to do that now.
I'm only joking.
do that,
I'm only joking, man. But as I say, like the whole thing with that, and it's like there'll be people like, mate, we don't know what people listen to us could be going through. There could be people like going through cancer right now.
Yeah.
There could be people going through addiction right now.
Yeah.
There could be people just going out on a Friday night getting a patsy.
Yeah.
It's like there's a fine line, and your story will really, really help a lot of people, mate.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, really cool to see you coming out the other end, mate. And fuck, I think I speak for everyone like that knows you and listen to it. I think fuck, you never done what you were going to do, mate. And it's a scary position. Do you know what I mean? We've been there, mate. I get it. It's terrifying. It's true what you say. You don't tell anyone. You're just going to do it. And I do believe in that kind of higher power or something that happened. Because I remember when I went through that, we'll not get into it because it's your story, mate, but there was something, not somebody phoned me.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked at something across the park bench when I was sitting and I went, okay, that's my sign.
Yeah.
And it's mental how that happens.
Yeah.
And I just really hope that if people are in that position, that they get that sign.
Sure.
That sign. And even what you touched on with, obviously, I know the way you are as a human, like you're very kind-hearted, so you will help a lot of people, even though you'll still have your own stuff and things. And it's quite hard working with people that you know, or even like your friends and that kind of stuff, and then they just don't make it, and that's like the kind of harsh reality, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've seen it a lot, so it's like I'm still involved in that 12-step fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got a sponsor who kind of takes you through the work and all that kind of stuff, and it's like it definitely worked for me. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, and then all that's kind of asked in return for my sponsor to take me through that is that you hang about, so that other people that come through the door just like me, you can do the same for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so I've done that. I've done it a lot in the past, and it's like, yeah, some people get it, and it's like, it's amazing to see. Do you know what I mean? See, when you work with someone walks in the door exactly the way I was. Do you know what I mean? And especially young. Do you know what I mean? Because 21, it's like there's not a lot of people that are going sober at 21.
Mm-hmm.
It can
Brave
be quite
to do that, mate. Very brave.
can be quite hard to grasp that as well. But I'm just kind of floating about there saying, listen, like, I done it. You don't need to go further.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's also people kicking about that, like, they're coming in at 50 and all
Mm-hmm.
this kind of stuff. It's like, people's journey is just their journey. And it's like, you don't need to use the quantities that I've used or whatever it is. It's like, see if it's making you feel a certain type of way. Even if it's just one patsy. And it's like you're waking up the next morning and your anxiety's through the roof and you're pure fearful, and it's like, that's enough. Do you know what I mean? To be able to make a change. You don't need to go as far as people went to kind of make a change. And as cliche as it sounds, it's like, it's no cliche at all, but it sounds dead cliche. It's like, speaking about it will be the best thing that you
100%.
ever do for yourself. It's like, that's what saved my life in the end, was someone was put in my path to open a space where I could speak, because I didn't feel like that space existed. And that's what saved my life. Like, genuinely, that's what saved my life, was just that space created. Do you know what I mean?
It's cool as fuck, man. And it's like, it's true, even what you said there, even if it is just one line, whatever it is, if it makes you feel a certain way, man, then you'll get the help that you want. Do you know what I mean? But I think, like, something I learnt in therapy, and it was the third time I went back to therapy, so I've done, like, different ways of therapy, right?
Yeah.
But I start to catch, like, I now really understand my brain. Obviously, I suffer from OCD and all that kind of stuff, right? And I can pick up on it fast.
Yeah.
So I'll start to go to therapy when I feel like I want it, not when I need it.
Yeah.
And I've said that to my therapist, and that's what she says. So I do CBT. In my opinion, CBT's been amazing for me, right? And it works for me. It might not work for others. I just think it's really, really good, and I'll go back to it again. But what she said to me that I found very, very interesting is, like, this is the problem with society. They don't come when they want it. They come when they need it, and sometimes it's too late. Yeah. And it's not like it's too late that you only are left with that one decision. But you just never get back to you because you left it for so long. It's like, as you said, damn it, you don't need to be on breaking point to get help.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, look at the analogy of like a physio, right? We'll use your knees as an example. We'll come on to that, by the way. They don't need to be this bad, but he fucked them, didn't he? But it's like, you would go to a physio when you get a niggle
Yeah.
before it becomes, so like you'll go to a physio if you get shin splints
Yeah.
before it becomes stress fractures.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So why is it any different
Yeah.
with your head? If you're thinking a certain way, then why would you not go and get the help that you know you want before it becomes a need?
Yeah.
Like if you're going in and you get a stress fracture, man, fucking you need to get that seen too. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
But a shin splint, you can kind of get by with it.
Yeah.
But it might turn into something
For
else.
sure.
Do you know what I mean? It's the
Everyone's
same
got
way.
the same, like, everyone's got the same head.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
got that voice
Mhm.
that speaks to you.
Mhm.
And it's like,
It's a bastard at times, isn't it?
for sure.
It
Mate,
definitely
it is, do you know what I mean? Like, I fully believe, like, it's no my pal. It's no my pal. It's not got my best interests at heart. Like, for sure. Because I ended up the way that I was because I had this voice in my head saying, you can't speak to anyone.
Mhm. Mhm.
You need to kill yourself.
Mhm.
There's no other way. It's like,
It's quite scary thinking that going through your head, isn't it? But
for sure,
Mhm.
for sure. But it's like, everyone's got that same brain
Mhm.
that produces fear, like, produces lies, like, but because it's their own voice in their own head, it's like people think it must be them. But it's like, it's no. Like, majority of the thoughts that come through my head, they're no positive. They're no nice. Like, I could be walking past someone in the street and they'll just go, he's a banger. It's like, I don't even think that. But
yeah,
it's just,
actually, you do it so much and you go, why have I done that?
for sure. But
It's
it's
crazy,
like,
innit?
but it's just the brain producing thoughts. That's what the brain's trying to do, is
It's something
produce
like
thoughts.
60,000 thoughts a day.
Exactly.
Mental, man. Mental,
So
innit?
it will say, like, he's a banger, and then I'll think it's me, and I'll believe that guy's a banger out of nothing.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas if I had a conversation with a guy, he'd be brand new. But that's just like a stupid example, but it's like, that's the way the brain works.
Mhm.
People identify it as them and can get into a real sticky situation like I done. Do you know what I mean?
It's a cool way of looking at it, mate. I really like that as well. And then as well, man, even to like obviously grow on everything that we've spoken about there, man, is such, man. So obviously you went through that, obviously going into 12 steps, everything like that, mate, and then obviously helping other people go through that. When did fitness start to become a big part of your life? And like when did it, because what I learned through my addictions and stuff like that is like you go through this kind of funny buffer period where like it can be lonely
Yeah.
because you're like, right, okay, I'm not that person anymore,
Yeah.
but I'm not quite that person
Yeah.
yet. And you're like, so who the fuck am I?
Yeah.
I think it, because there'll be a lot of people in that phase right now, right? And I think it'd be a very interesting topic to go into. When did you realise that you went from the Jay that was feeling a bit lost and confused and not quite himself to the Jay that we're sitting with right now? When
Aye.
did that identity shift happen?
Don't think there's like I don't think you can pinpoint it. I think it just kind of happened. Like, I think if you get sober, and I think what the cool thing is, like, just for my story, it's like I didn't have any other choice but to get sober. But a lot of people are choosing it in today's society. It's like it's coming to be like the kind of hip thing to do.
Well,
It's
it's like Connor's not completely sober, but he's not touched a drink in about
for sure,
a year and a half now or
exactly,
something like that.
which is great.
And he's just like,
It's fantastic,
man. You know
and
what I
he's
mean?
just like, I don't even know if I'll go back to it.
aye, but he's not putting any like
Aye,
pressure on it,
for
man.
sure. So
Most
it's
laid back dude ever, isn't he, man?
Aye. Shout out Connor. But aye, so it's like becoming a kind of cool thing to do. But so for me, got sober, and it's like my life had to change. The habits I was doing, it just all had to kind of change, and that's kind of where the cold water comes into it, and that's kind of where the fitness. But I think I got sober, and then I got a PT. Because I didn't really know what I was doing in the gym. I was counting calories and all that, and I was a bit like, I think with the drugs and all that, it's kind of clear to me. It's like I need something.
Yep.
I need something to focus on. So I ended up doing PT and just weights, and I think I've done weights honestly for like 3 years or something, and then I just got bored of just doing weights.
I get that.
2-3 years maybe, and then it was like I was never a runner or any of that stuff, and I was just like, I'm going to run a marathon just for the house. And it wasn't even for the fitness aspect of it, it was for the mental. I think that's what hooks me into fitness. How far can you push yourself? We spoke about it in the sauna. Towing the line or something, the start line, and you're like that. I don't know if
What's
I'll get
gonna
this
happen?
done.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Something
I'll get this
powerful
done.
about that.
That's what gets me going. I've done high rocks. I didn't get that for high rocks. I get why other people get it for high rocks. Some buzz, do you know what I mean? Even the environment in the arena and all that, it's amazing. But I didn't cross the line and be like, I need to do that again. But when I do it with things like long distance, and it's like and it's that thing in your stomach where you're like, I don't know what's going to
It's
happen
just
here.
you and that's it.
Aye,
There's
aye.
nothing else there.
Yeah.
Like when you're like 40, 50 miles deep
Yeah.
into an ultra,
Yeah.
arse end of nowhere.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Apart from move forward.
For sure.
And like what I've learned through stuff like that, man, is like I get the feeling that you're talking about because it's not like, right, what time we get, and it's just I just need to get fucking through this, and I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And you always like, I kind of like look at it as like shredding a layer of skin. When you come to the other end, you go, woofed.
Yeah.
We figured that out.
Yeah,
You can take it into other areas, man. Do you know what I mean?
100%. It's so transferable into like other areas of life. And I think a lot of people talk about like doing the hard things, and it's like, so the things that you come across in your day-to-day life are not as hard as what you've already been through. So it gives you that kind of confidence to manage life, because life can be quite hard to manage at points.
100%.
Do you know what I
100%.
mean?
It's funny, but the bit that people miss out, right? And it's like when you do all these ultra marathons and that kind of stuff like that, you'll be able to deal with day-to-day life a lot better.
Yeah.
You'll be cabbage for a few days and you're just sitting there, I thought life is going to get easier, you know what I mean? But all joking aside, like, it's like when you do, we'll obviously come into like the ultra side of things and all that kind of stuff, mate, because you'll probably know this already, but you wouldn't be surprised the amount of people that do like long distances and that kind of stuff that have a bit of demons in them.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like a way of an outlet.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? It's like David Goggins, I don't know a lot about his past, to be completely honest, right? But he's got trauma of some sort. Like, I know he does, mate. Like, I've never actually looked into him too much and stuff. I just think he's mental and he backs himself, which I think is pretty cool. But I can guarantee you that guy's went through some fucking hell, man. Do you know what I mean? And everyone that has that kind of inner, if you want to call it that, inner dog in them, man, shit's went on, shit's happened, and it's pretty cool to have. Not even cool, man. You start to figure out that you have to have that other outlet for it.
Yeah.
It doesn't just go away.
Yeah.
You need to just nurture it and make sure that it doesn't come out in a negative light and it comes out more in a positive light.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously, from yourself, Jay, would you say that positive light comes out more in your running, which I found it very interesting because you obviously said at the start you couldn't have given less of a fuck about running.
Yeah.
To now, obviously, running ultras injured, if you will. Do you know what I mean?
For sure. I think like I was never much of a runner, and then like maybe there's a few years ago where I was right into my running, but it was like the fast kind of stuff, and it was like you just kind of don't know, man. It's kind of hard to explain. A lot of people who run don't like running to begin with, and then they pick up like maybe they have a good run where they feel great after it, and then it just kind of picks this thing up. And then so I ran for don't know how long that was, and then kind of fell out it. Kind of fell back into it. I think I fell back into it just watching YouTube documentaries. Like, I don't really watch TV such as much these days, but you'll catch me on YouTube watching your David Goggins or running ultras, and I just think that's pretty sick what they're doing, because you can't really fathom, like, you're watching people run the Cocodona 240, Cocodona 250 or the Moab 240, and you're like, you can't even fathom what they're doing, and it's just like
3-4 days, like, just go.
Aye.
And that's wild, man.
Aye. So aye.
Cool, man. What's been like you've done a few ultras now, mate. Is there any specific moment where, not even that you had to dig in, you had to like find yourself or whatever, right? But is there any like moment in any of these races that just sticks with you? That you just remember the way you were feeling, the way you were thinking, the way you pushed through it? Is there anything that just sticks with you?
Mate, I wouldn't say so. I've not done many. Do you know what I mean? That's I say like.
Well, we'll say not even ultras, because I know you've done like, what was the one that, was it Kaizen that done? And it was like the night track.
Koba.
They done Koba done.
Aye.
Because even that was fucking. I remember you told me you done that, and I was like,
Aye.
how many press ups did you do?
That was crazy.
It's wild, man. Even stuff like that doesn't necessarily need to be ultras, but is there any like? Because I've got a few that I know that just stick with me from like. I remember we ran through. It was like just the day before we got to Edinburgh in the Scotland run.
Yep.
And I just climbed up this hill.
Yep.
And I remember just talking to myself.
Yeah.
But like shouting at myself.
Aye.
Get up the hill, and then I got up the top of the hill, man, and I just whacked my phone out, and the videographer never even put this in the fucking vlog.
Aye.
It was like a 4-minute spew of me just sharing my thoughts, and like I was crying in that, and I was just, it was like raw. And like that hill took me to that point to just explode.
Yeah.
And I just looked back and went, fuck, we've ran for John O'Groats, and it was just such a cool moment.
Aye.
And I just always remember it, and that's why I'm just quite curious. Has there been any moments that you just remember that, like, it just, you look back at and go, fuck yeah?
Mate, I don't like, so just while you're talking there, it's like maybe I don't feel like I've pushed myself to that extent. But see when I get deep into something, it's like I have a personality change.
Right,
where
okay,
It's like
cool.
I've been known to fucking shout at myself and all that kind of stuff, and it's like I like to really see like when the stuff gets hard, that's when it's like a personality change kicks in, and it's like this is the start.
The eyes change.
Aye, this is where you really see what you're made of. Like, are you going to do the thing that you said you're going to do?
Yes.
But I really don't think I've been pushed to like I could push further. Do you know what I mean?
I like the tank's empty, and it's like, and I think it's like the unfortunate thing for people that do that is that you probably have been there, but where you're at now didn't seem like that was that.
Yeah, yeah.
So like maybe when you were doing that, the Twilight Marathon, you probably went to that place, but because you've done it now, you're like, all right, cool, that was sound.
Yeah.
But in that moment, you were like, right, fuck, right, we need to dig in here, man. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I think like, see anyone who has ambition, like that fear of not being able to do what they said they were going to do, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like it kind of hits them, and it's like it's an ego thing, to be honest, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I remember, like even in the Scotland run, man, like I got to day 3, man. The winds were like 40 kilometers an hour. I'm like, I can't do this, man.
Yeah.
But I was like, but I need to. Like, there's no option. There's no option, man. My wee Moz in the house, she's expecting us to get done.
Yeah.
And I think like you need to go into situations like that.
Yeah.
You need to put yourself in.
For
It's
sure.
like even we were talking about having a laugh about it in the sauna. Obviously, I've signed up for Ironman Wales.
Yeah.
I can't swim. I genuinely can't swim, and I'm terrified it's the ocean.
Yeah.
But it's like I need to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like call it ego, whatever. But you need to go into that spot, and it's true what you say about the personality change. And like I remember when I was like just started training, just lifting weights and all that kind of stuff, and you're watching all these guys doing mad like fitness events and that, and they're shouting and screaming.
Yeah.
And like my mates will still do it to this day. They're like, "Pff, what are they screaming for?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't get it, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and like it took me a while to understand this because I'd hear people screaming. I'd be like, fuck are they doing, man?
Yeah, yeah.
But like when you go to that place and you go, that's their outlet.
Yeah.
Some people just go silent and they don't look up.
Yeah.
Some people like beat their chest and scream. Like, I found myself slapping my head and I'm like, even after that, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But you just go to that place. Like
Aye.
it's what you find is that, as you say, that personality change. Like
Yeah.
I'm not an aggressive guy,
Uh-huh.
but if I need to push through something at that moment,
You need to find it.
I
for
look like I'll
somewhere, do you
bite
know what I
somebody's
mean?
kneecap off, to be honest, man. Do you know what I mean? That's just that.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool, man. And I think everyone should take themselves to that position at one point, man. That's
For
what
sure.
I really, really strongly
For sure.
believe because it's really, really good for you, man. It shows you what you're actually made of.
Absolutely.
And a lot of
Absolutely.
people get found out
Yeah.
at that point.
Some
And then they either
people-
curl up or they go, that's not happening again.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Me and my pals always talk about it. Like some people have it and some people don't. Do you know what I mean? So
And it's fine if you don't.
it's fine if you
Fine if
don't.
you don't. Just don't pretend you do.
Yeah, I know,
That's
but
it.
it's like that's the difference in like people that just stay comfortable their full life or the people that are striving for more. Do you know what I mean?
100%, man. And then as well, man, like we've obviously got a few more kind of stuff to go through, mate, because this has been a very powerful podcast, mate. Like so far, I've loved this, mate. But that being said, as well, man, where did the cold and hot therapy start to come into it?
Yeah.
Because I know obviously you and Zach obviously met each other through your years and all that kind of stuff, man. But yeah, where did it start to have such an impact in your life? Because we were discussing this on the way in around about how Soul Sweets is what it is. I know we've already covered that as well,
Yeah.
but like the way you market for Soul Sweets comes from a point of someone who truly believes in hot and cold therapy.
Yeah.
So where does that come from, mate?
So like maybe like 6 years ago for me is when I started doing cold water. I kind of got introduced to it, I think. And actually, see if somebody like cold water's pretty popular these days. When I was doing it 6 years ago, it maybe wasn't in the mainstream. So I got introduced to it. Like if someone's getting back then, if someone was getting sober, it's like only a matter of time before someone's like, "Are you done cold water or whatever?" So I remember I went to Luss in February, maybe done like a 30-second dip. In Luss, I came out, I was like shaking for hours after.
Horrible, isn't it?
Freezing cold, like the first time.
Yeah.
But I just remember, luckily there was like hot showers right next to it. Went and got a hot shower, and just the feeling. And what the feeling was just a natural release of dopamine, which I'd not had for years. I'd fried my receptors of my dopamine receptors with cocaine, porn, social media, like just total false dopamine. And after researching a bit, it's like all the stuff I just mentioned produces far too much dopamine at once. Your brain can't connect with it, and then you crash just as hard as you came up. Whereas cold water, it's like it's a natural remedy. It produces enough dopamine that the brain can handle. It's like 2 to 4 hours after, just slowly feeding your dopamine so the body can use it correctly, and then it just levels itself off, so you don't even experience a crash. And that's exactly what I experienced, and I was like, that's fucking
Sick.
magic. Do you know what I mean?
Class.
And so I think I met Zach and Danny a year later. I met them. We became really close, short period of time, just through like common interests at the time, and introduced both of them to cold water. And I remember, doing cold water with Zach, and he had just this crazy experience in the water. It's like I'll never forget it. I think it changed his life, just that moment in that water. And then Danny's very businessy. So he was like, there's something that can be done with this. And I wasn't involved in that conversation at the time. So Zach, Danny, and then Chris had the space for it. They opened up Soul Sweets when it first started. And I think it was like a couple months later, I was doing house removals at the time or something. I was loving doing the house removals at the time, but I was saving up to go travelling. Because for some reason at the time I just wasn't happy here. I didn't have a purpose here. I was just doing job to job and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'll go travelling. So I'd saved up to go travelling. And I remember I was driving through Castlemilk, and like me, Zach and Danny was speaking on the phone every day, at least once, just for being pals. And I remember phoning Zach, driving up that Castlemilk hill. And he was sitting with Danny at the time, and he went, we were literally just about to phone you. And they were talking about they need a member of staff down at Soul Sweets. They knew what I was doing. And I was like, well, all I'm doing is saving up to go abroad. So if you match what I'm making now, then I'll come and do that. And then I think literally a couple months later, it was like the chat started coming about. We spoke about it in the car, like they three have full-time careers. Soul Sweets was always like a side thing for them. So maybe they don't have the time that I could put towards it. So basically the chats came about. I'd be a full-time member of staff, but also part owner. And the deal was made. And then ever since then, so I think at the essence of Soul Sweets is like how much it was only cold water as well. We didn't know what contrast was. I'm sure Danny and Zach came across contrast when they were researching cold water methods and stuff like this. At the essence of Soul Sweets is like the profound effect that cold water had in our lives. And see, over the years, the amount of people I've met, not even just through Soul Sweets, like before Soul Sweets was open, and going for locks all across Scotland, and they're saying like cold water's cured this, cold water's helped me with this, it just seems to be magical.
It's like unfathomable how much it's not just we'll get in and give you a buzz. It genuinely has a long-lasting effect on people.
Long-lasting effect. It changes people's lives. Like cold water specifically wasn't the thing that changed my life, but I've met an abundance of people who swear that cold water is the thing that's just
the sliding doors effect for you.
Changed their life, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, changed people's lives. So I think that's what's at the essence of Soul Sweets. What it done for me, Zach and Danny. And people have came to us, which is like crazy. It's surreal. They come to us and it's like changed. Like I've seen people at their first appointment, or they'd shut down or in a certain way, whether it's like a debilitating thing in their body or just mentally, they've no confidence and all that, and like seeing them literally change just by coming to Soul Sweets. It's like surreal.
No, it's as I said at the start, it's just so cool to see, man. And it's cool to see like how much of an impact it's obviously, even you tell me how you, Zach and Danny, like originally met each other, and obviously you introduced them to cold water, and just how that transpired and all that, transpired, sorry. And it has been really, really cool. Even like if you talk about Chris, like how much an impact it's even had on his training. Do you know what I mean? And how much he's into Soul Sweets and really utilising it. Don't get me wrong, I don't know anyone else that's going in with a fucking big sweatsuit. He's meant to
crazy guy.
He's off his nut. But it is cool, and it's true. Even like from my perspective with like cold water, I probably didn't even realise it at the time, how much it was helping me and all that kind of stuff. I just seen it as a thing to go and do on a Sunday. Probably didn't even realise it. I know my partner Georgia, They done a lot of it and all that kind of stuff like a good few years ago. And then like even the one thing that stands out with Soul Sweets and even like everything that's been spoken about in this podcast as such is community. Like people being around other people and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this in the car in, like, see, you's going to open up the traditional sauna with the open room and all that kind of stuff. Best thing he's ever
Game
done.
changer.
Because like I work online obviously, right? And like I can be in front of a laptop all day. See, I've not got any calls with clients or any discovery calls and all that kind of stuff. You don't talk to anyone really. You got enough Friday night, man. It's just all the boys are in there and you're like, this is class, man. You're all sitting in a sauna together just having a laugh. And it's like, as much as like the goodness comes from the cold water, the sauna and getting rid of the toxins and stuff like that, a lot of it's just talking to people. And like for whatever reason, like, guys feel comfortable talking in that sauna, don't we? I don't know what it is, man.
For sure.
And it's like, I know I talked about Nuffield sauna and that stuff, but I found myself, like when I was younger, man, like I'm talking about 20 years of age, in a sauna with like some random 55-year-old fiery guy, all of them just pals to school. You're just chatting shit with them and that. I don't know what it is. I don't know if lassies are the same, right? But guys just word vomit on saunas, mate, innit? And it's good. It's really good, man.
And
honestly,
they
man.
they don't realise what is happening.
No.
But it's just a natural setting.
Because like, the amount of times I've had like a fucking shit day, like just nothing bad, but you know, like in life you always just have these where you go, that was a bastard.
For sure.
There was just things that happened, right? Nothing like major that you're going, fuck, but it was just a shit day. And then you go in and like me and Connor will go in like a Wednesday afternoon or something, you're like, it could be worse. Do you know what I mean? It just kind of settles you out, man. So see if you're not involved in Soul Sweets, man. Fucking get involved, man. Honestly, man. Use code Kieran. I'm only joking, man. But nah, mate. Honestly, it's so cool to see like that conversation just really hitting you in the head for what Made by Miles is, mate, and like what it stands for. Like people that have went through a lot, but didn't accept defeat and just built it up. And I know there'll be a lot. I can just picture the reaction we're gonna get from this one, mate. Where so many people are gonna go, that really spoke to me. I can relate to that. And it's a good thing that conversations like this are getting out. They're raw, they're honest, they're true, and there's no fabrications. It's fucking real life. But it shows you can go from a really scary space to a very exciting space in the space of 6 years, maybe even less than that, mate. But I think like just to round it off, mate, as well, man, because we could go for ages, mate. But what's next for Jay?
That's a big question, isn't it? Let's just finish it up there with like what's next for Jay.
Dot.
Honestly, like I think my knees are cooked now.
We never even touched on that actually.
My knees are cooked now, but so I'm rehabbing. I want to get right into having some big years with like ultra running. That's what I'm into the now. So
what's like your bucket list ultra? If you could do anyone in the world, I know some of them are like
in the world. It's got to be like the two I mentioned earlier. It would cost an absolute fortune.
It would.
Do you know what I mean? So if I ever get the opportunity to do
I fancy
one
the
of them,
Moab.
it would be Moab.
Yeah.
Bro, that would just be insane.
Wouldn't it, mate? It'd be fucking ridiculous,
to even
mate.
have the opportunity to like go
Just
in
beat
that
the start line, mate. Just beat, like, it's got goosebumps,
would
mate.
be
You know
insane.
what I mean?
But I think like I said, I've only done a few so far, so I'd like to do all the ones kind of Scotland has to offer, and then I will kind of see where it takes us. I think with the Soul Sweets kind of angle is just like what's happening in now. There's a new one opening in the East End of Glasgow. It's going to be, I don't think Glasgow's seen anything like what this place is going to be. It's going to be absolutely crazy. And then I just try to kind of build it for there. Do you know what I mean? Just try to build. It seems to be naturally building itself now. Obviously, there's hundreds of work that goes on behind the scenes. But it's like, I don't know what's next. Do you know what I mean? We were talking about it in the car. It's like, who knows what I'll be doing in 5 years? Like,
Exciting.
Exactly. The possibilities are kind of endless. Who
I love
knows?
that, mate. I love that. I think the key to that as well, man, like, see if you don't know, just make sure it's exciting.
For sure.
And you'll still be happy enough in it, man.
Absolutely. I think like one of the main key things that's come from my past and all that is like you need to put 100% effort into the day right now, because that's what's going to shape what's going to be in 5 years. Like, you can't get what's in 5 years to now, but what you're doing in now is going to bring you to 5 years' time. Do you know what I mean? So keep it in the day, man, and fucking chip away, and then see where you're at when the time comes.
Definitely, absolutely love that, man. Mate, that was an incredible conversation, mate. I know I can relate to the story, mate. I know a lot of people relate to the story, but not even just relate, mate, but just take value from it, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of lessons in there, mate. There's a lot of insights. There's a lot of hope. And I think that's very, very important to get out there because people lose hope very, very fast. But people like yourself, mate, you can be a shining light for a lot of people that just fucking need it, mate. So continue to be you, mate. And I really, really enjoyed that, man.
Me too, bro.
Guys, if you've been watching this, man, please, as I say, like and subscribe if you are watching it on YouTube. If you are listening to us on Spotify, give us a wee follow. It's much appreciated. If you can as well, share this to your stories on Instagram. As you'll know, obviously, Kieran Ingram, Extra Mile. And Jay, if you want to share your socials, they can tag in it as well. Feel free to share your socials as well.
JH Jacobs or SoulSweets _. We'll share it as well.
Definitely, man. Make some noise, man. Get it about there because, again, that's an incredible conversation. And make sure to tune in to the next one.